This is Tony Hendrick with Painting Spirit, and today is officially 2 weeks since I started. So I think today's subject's going to be Painting Spirit. And where did I come up with that title for these? So this morning I got up and immediately my mind started racing into all these unanswered questions that I had, kind of stressing me out from the day before, maybe even weeks before. Sometimes questions in the mind come up over and over and over and over and over and over again, and there doesn't seem to be an answer. And my usual routine in the morning before doing these is to do about a half hour of my Tai Chi practice, and then about 15 minutes of just meditating. And this morning my mind was so quickly wrapped up in thoughts and questions. The only thing that seemed like it would help me is to just meditate first. Get myself out of that busyness of my mind, and as I was doing that, my mind was racing and pondering the questions it had. And then all of a sudden, boom, it just kind of clicked, and I was in this space of just stillness. It didn't really matter the questions anymore. It was just weird how quickly that can happen. These questions that seemed so important to me at the time, like one of them was, how do you be in a flow state, or the be like water state? Bruce Lee says, be water. How do you be in that state and also not become a people pleaser? Anyway, so I kind of got into this still point, and the question didn't really matter anymore. Actually, what started to become apparent to me is that, just being in this state of mind, it really doesn't matter what the answer to the question is. And it would probably answer itself if I just stayed in this state of mind. And I think that is the case. The mind wants to feel like it can control things and come up with answers. But really, a lot of times those answers that I'm looking for kind of change from moment to moment depending on the situation. But if I'm in that state of mind, it's at ease, then answers just seem to naturally come. One of the things that I do to distract myself if my mind gets too busy, I'm not sure if this is a good thing or not, but I'll kind of scroll around through YouTube. And I came across a video of somebody I had seen a documentary about. His name is Wim Hof, and he's, I think he lives in kind of a Nordic country, I'm not sure which one, in Europe. Northern, cold. And he was doing some marathon in his shorts, and I don't know if he even had a shirt on in the middle of winter. And he teaches a technique of breathing, and in this documentary they kind of touched on it a little bit. But this YouTube thing that I saw, it was him demonstrating the breathing technique. And these are kind of nice colors, a little change. Anyway, so it captured my interest, and he was demonstrating with the person who was interviewing him, and I realized that, well, this is a breathing process that I've used, actually called still point breathing. And what was interesting to me is he has like a lot of scientific research, like scientists have studied his brain and then physiological things, and I don't know all the details of it, but that's kind of his thing, is that it's not just woo-woo kind of stuff, that it's all scientifically documented how this affects the body. And what he was saying in this thing is that it's like a steady breathing, like 30 in and out type breaths that are just a continual roll of breathing, and then you stop. You allow yourself to just stop breathing for about 90 seconds. And in that space, what happens is you've just created a bunch of stress in the body, and he had all scientific names for it. But the point is, stress was created, and then you all of a sudden are in this state of stillness. And he didn't say this exactly, but that stress is now all happening around that stillness. And I think it was a short clip, so I didn't see what he had to say further about it than that. But my own personal experience, well, just this morning, is that getting yourself to that essential place within really solves a lot of answers to questions. And one of the reasons I'm doing this daily is because there's a lot going on in the world that seems stressful right now. And having a little place of stillness within it all can be really helpful. I know it is for me. It's funny because when I first started doing these at the beginning of the year, before things kind of shifted into the whole COVID thing, I was doing these videos and I wasn't talking, and one of the reasons I kind of stopped is because my mind said to myself, well, People aren't going to be spending 15 minutes watching me do these little videos. It just doesn't seem to be the right fit for some place like Facebook. Yeah, ultimately, none of that matters. I'm sure I think I have the ability to see. I don't know how to find out if people are watching these videos full length or not. If you care to, you can comment, say if you're watching this live or not. Another thing that if you want, today I decided to just play around, see what happens with the painting, and I've done a few landscapes, and yesterday I did a still life. If there's a particular subject you'd like me to paint, and if you watched yesterday's, you realize that the subject's always going to be whatever is in my mind, whether or not I pick a landscape or let's see here. What do I want to do here? Let's really gob on some, like a little, ooh. Right there, I just dip my brush in some medium. So that might be, and I globbed on a bunch of white. So that might be something you'd like me to do a little more of. Talk about what I'm actually using to paint with. So if there's something that you would like me to explore with you, just give me a comment and let me know. Or maybe you just want to let me know because I have no way of knowing if people are watching this live or if they're watching the replay. So you could just put a quick comment of live or replay. It's just fun to know. I'm not the most tech savvy person, so my mind kind of spins when I look at whatever the analytics are. Actually, I try to avoid it because I don't want to get into my head with this. So anyway, when talking about essence, I thought would be kind of a boring title to call this painting essence. So that's where I came up with painting spirit, because spirit to me is just capturing the essence of something. And it can have all kinds of other meanings too. That's what it kind of makes it a more interesting word to me. But essentially, it's about the essence of painting. And what's nice about that is pretty much when you're speaking about the essence of something, you are talking about everything. And that's why I can ask you any subject you'd like me to paint or talk about. I'll see what I can do to get to its essence. So have a good weekend, get out your own brushes, and we'll see you on Monday.